America has decided to scrap the Iran nuclear deal. It's undoing years of diplomacy between the West and Iran, and critics are saying it could lead to a catastrophic conflict in the Middle East. But President Trump thinks it will force Iran back to the negotiating table to agree another deal, this time more favourable to the US. So what does this mean for world peace? It was billed as a massive diplomatic breakthrough for Iran and the West. Iran would agree to restrictions on its nuclear program in exchange for an end to crippling economic sanctions. America, Britain, Russia, China, France, Germany and the EU all agreed to work together to pull off the deal in 2015. It was credited with reducing the risk of a nuclear war in an unstable Middle East and with bringing Iran back in from the cold after years of isolation from the international community. Now, President Trump has done what he said he would do all the way through his election campaign and pulled the US out, angering America's allies and leaving the US isolated on the world stage too. So what were Trump's concerns? America and Israel, its most important ally in the Middle East, have been fierce critics of Iran ever since the 1979 Islamic Revolution. One of the key concerns has been Iran's nuclear activities. Iran says it's only using nuclear reactors peacefully to produce energy, but over the years the Islamic Republic has been accused of secretly trying to develop nuclear bombs. Israel, widely believed to have its own nuclear arsenal, has always been wary of countries it considers hostile developing nuclear weapons for themselves, and they've previously taken action to stop this. Israeli jets destroyed reactors in Iraq in 1981 and again in Syria in 2007. Under Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, Israel has firmly opposed any nuclear deal with Iran, saying it's all based on lies from Tehran. In 2015, Netanyahu was invited by Republicans to speak in Congress against the wishes of then President Barack Obama. He took the opportunity to argue strongly against any kind of deal.
The greatest danger facing our world is the marriage of militant Islam with nuclear weapons. We can't let that happen. But that, my friends, is exactly what could happen if the deal now being negotiated is accepted by Iran.
Now, Netanyahu sees Trump as the main way of limiting Iran's power, even going as far as to produce a, well, let's face it, pretty ropey-looking presentation on Iran's nuclear capabilities, again claiming that Iran was working towards nuclear weapons. Critics were quick to point out that the information Israel provided predated the 2015 deal with Iran, and some of it was decades old.
Iran lied. Another 55,000 files on 183 CDs.
President Trump has closely followed the Israeli line on Iran.
Never, ever, ever in my life have I seen any transaction so incompetently negotiated as our deal with Iran.
He made pulling out of this agreement one of his main promises in his 2016 presidential campaign. So what does Obama have to do with it? The Iran deal is one of a long list of Obama policies that Trump has either scrapped or threatened to scrap. Ending the agreement is yet another blow to Obama's legacy.
I hate seeing President Obama today saying that Iran has violated our agreement. I mean, what did he think? He's now complaining about Iran violating the agreement. What the hell did he think? He's like a baby.
The former president argued the only alternative to diplomacy was war. But Trump says the nuclear deal gave Iran hundreds of billions of dollars by unfreezing assets and allowing it to sell oil internationally again, and that Iran would use this money for what he called terror and oppression all over the world. Trump also said it failed to make the world safer. He pointed out that Iran continued to help prop up the Assad regime in Syria's civil war after the deal. Trump has now vowed to reintroduce US sanctions on Iran despite pleas from key US allies. So what happens next? Following the news of America pulling out, Britain, France and Germany have all expressed regret and concern, and the world is now waiting to see whether or not the deal can survive Trump's decision. Iran and the other signatories say they remain committed to the agreement, but any foreign companies that do business with Iran can now be breaking US law. We're also waiting to see if Trump's move will make Iran more or less of a risk to world peace. Before the deal, America said Iran had enough materials to make up to 10 nuclear warheads, and that it would only take 2 or 3 months to produce a bomb. But after the agreement, Iran's uranium stockpile was reduced by 98%, and the time needed to make a nuke went up to more than a year. Trump's decision could now see these stockpiles shoot back up, and Iran can move even more rapidly towards developing nukes.
What he has done now means that Iran may well start its nuclear program again within a month. My Iranian sources tell me they're going to give a month for the Europeans to try and persuade the Americans otherwise. That's what I was told a week or so ago. But after that, centrifuges start spinning, inspections stop, it will all go again. This is a very dangerous moment.